快头号，叮叮叮叮叮，叮叮叮叮叮，快头号，叮叮叮叮叮，叮叮叮叮叮。
勇士已经成立12年了
，12年了，
明年就13年了
，13年了，
快到位置坐下吧，
坐下了。
欢迎所有支持台湾篮球、支持台北富邦勇士的球迷朋友，在今天一起来到年度最佳主场勇士队的主场，先给进场的自己来点掌声好吗？在今天非常开心看到这么多好朋友们一起来到我们总冠军赛的第6场比赛，在6月16号星期二的晚上齐聚在一起，邀请大家一起团结的为勇士们一起来加油。在今天呢，我们就团结一心，一起来将所有的声音跟力量借给我们支持的台北富邦勇士，没有别的想法，专心的一起成为我们场边最棒的第6人，为他们应援加油。在来到年度最佳主场勇士队主场之外呢，也要邀请大家，待会可以将我们的掌声送给年度最佳啦啦队，让我们一起将所有的掌声一起热情掌声欢迎富邦 Angels。
If you clip me and I still got ice even if you ain't with me. Candy paint and I still bump Biggie. To throwback, ripped up dickies. She hating me cause I'm nice up on the mic. I'm twice the size of rice, my flow keep on the lights. Brain dead, you need sense like 50. Cause you won't truly love me like body love me. No.
Feel the silence getting deeper to me, man, that's some guy. Touch your time, I'm gonna be the girl in the fight. 속에 피어나는 miracle 가빠지는 심장 소리 날지고 끝도 없이 빠져드는 3, 2, 1 Is she when I walk onto the stage I got this take it down in a slow motion heartbeat come around baby you can come see me making everybody go who is she when I step onto the stage I got this
掌声送给富邦 Angels。
现在介绍双方球队登陆名单。首先介绍客队桃园璞园领航员，球衣背号3号陈立生，5号陈将双，6号关达佑，10号林明威，12号李家康，13号谭杰龙，25号林正，31号 Number 31阿吉诺，先发球员 Starting by 背号1号 Number 1丁恩迪，21号 Number 21博朗，24号 Number 24葛拉汉，30号白耀成，69号卢俊祥，总教练 Head Coach Caminos， 助理教练兼球员发展总监杨怡峰。助理教练黄启峰、陈世杰、唐伟杰、柯焕维，体育教练刘连杰、刘厚少，副领队兼球团发言人陈信安。 无论面对多大挑战，永不退缩，拼尽全力，不留遗憾，为团队、为冠军而战，继续打造热血沸腾的勇士主场。
They watch as I fall on my face. Yeah, they thinking that's all that it takes. Yeah, they going, he's out of the race. Yeah, they counting the hour, but wait. Speeding the hours, straight to the mill. Beating the famous to beat it to watch. All that I dodged, all the hits that I took to become what I am is insane. I am unbreakable. I am unstoppable. I am an animal. How can they stop me? I'm breakable. Let's go. I am unbreakable. I am unstoppable. I am an animal. How can they stop me? I'm breakable. They watch as I'm falling apart. So much pressure, they're calling it hard. It's an understatement. The scars are the proof. It was deep, it was hard. I am unbreakable. I am unstoppable. I am an animal. How can they stop me? I'm breakable. I am not breaking.
台北富邦勇士的球迷们准备好了吗？让我听到你们的尖叫声！现在介绍地球队台北富邦勇士球员登录名单。首先欢迎勇士吉祥物比尔。背号0号后卫东北角一哥南洋小跑车赖廷恩，背号1号超强外籍生体能炸裂的4号位大前锋 PLEAGUE 莫巴耶。背号3号后卫，来自麻省理工 MIT 学霸 ，No. 3 Spencer Lee 李俊友。背号6号后卫，帅气与球技兼具，国民姐夫吴永胜。背号8号前锋，防守大锁，逆流而上的鲑鱼 ，No. 8周鲑鱼。背号14号小前锋，真情叫老爹，本土洋将队长蔡文成。背号23号前锋，篮板灌入外籍生强纳森，那么团队助理9拉森乌群古北。背号88号本土中锋，酷帅高冷曾祥军。Now introducing starting five， 下面介绍新发5人名单。背号4号后场发动机，能 hold 住目光的全能后卫陈佑伟。背号11号后卫3分的剑，锋芒内敛 ，KJ 洪凯杰。 AKA 塞尔维亚中锋内外出击杨科维奇。Number 23 Stefan Jankovic。背号55号，巩固禁区，绝不让步，扩加失误，破例飞。Number 55 Michael Holyfield。背号12号后卫，勇士队资深领袖，永远的人气王，野兽林志杰。领队兼总教练许晋哲，教练吴永仁，助理教练林伟浩、陈立焕、梁兆轩，体能教练郑维娟、防护师林武章、彭玉明，球队翻译王义忠，训练员蓝恩远，总经理叶宗颖。
好，接下来要接好我们要给各位的礼物，楼上的朋友小心哦。接下来邀请大家拿起你手中的折扇，在今天进场发放给各位的折扇，先把我们折起来，准备来到我们年度最佳主场勇士队的主场。就要邀请各位拿起折扇，跟着富邦 Angel 一起来复习一下，来到我们的主场要如何一起为勇士们团结的一起加油，一起应援，以及大声的防守。所以邀请大家先将你手中的折扇折起来。今天不管你坐在哪里，我们都很感谢大家用行动来支持台北富邦勇士的主场，谢谢大家一起在今天的晚上留下来，来到我们的主场，一起为勇士加油。那要怎么加油呢？再一次的带大家一起来复习一下，来到勇士的主场，熟悉的节奏 ，Let's go 富邦 ，Let's go 勇士，跟上我们的节拍，一起拍打5下 ，Let's go。Let's go 富邦 ，Let's go 勇士 ，Let's go 富邦。Let's go 勇士 Let's go 富邦 Let's go 勇士。谢谢大家。那在今天也看到很多朋友穿上我们台北的应援 T， 那 Angel 身上的也是我们的台北城市球衣，也要一起邀请各位为台北这座城市再争取一个荣耀。所以呢，在比赛当中听到 Go Go 台北台北，请帮我们快速的拍打6下 ，Let's go， 一起来 ！Go Go 台北台北。Go go 台北台北 Go 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 go 台北台北。再来，在比赛当中你会听到 TFB。然后会很震撼的拍打5下，请帮我们一起喊出来之外，这也是我们球队英文名称的缩写，所以在比赛当中听到就一起大声的喊出来，拿起你的折扇，跟着节奏拍打5下，一起来。
Taipei.
The Taipei Fubon Braves caught the Pilots seizing up once again at Taoyuan Arena Sunday evening. What once was an undefeated fortress for the Pilots during the season, well, the Braves came through with a wrecking ball for Game 5. But similar to Game 4, though, the Pilots crawled back from a 21-point deficit with each game that passes. The pattern remains the same as last year, alternating between these rivals. A good evening, fans, wherever you are, however you're streaming. You're watching the 2026 Plus League Finals. Game 6 is at hand. Ain't no rest for the wicked and ain't no rest for the finalists as we return to Heping Gymnasium tonight on June 16th, 2026. The Taipei Fubon Braves return home with a big 3-2 advantage. They will try to close it out tonight, replicating history in these hallowed grounds, while the Pilots will fight tooth and nail tonight to extend this series, forcing it into another Game 7 series, just like last year of their head-to-head series. Both sides having to lose key players. Adaptability may decide tonight's results. Here we have our super Mandarin broadcast team with Jason, Yang Lei, as well as Coach Sean, as we have on the English broadcast Taylor Chen and Ryan Chen. Ryan, what are your thoughts on Game 6 here at Heping Gymnasium?
Like you said, things are playing out very similar to last year's finals and a rematch. The huge difference is that Game 6 taking place here at Taipei Heping Gymnasium, as opposed to last year when scheduling difficulties meant the Braves had to take over Taoyuan Arena. Well, the Braves prior to last year's in the finals were 2-0 in the closeout clinching game. Guess what? The Pilots were 0-3 in playoff elimination games. Well, those stats started flipping. And for the Pilots, they're going to need to try to pull off 2 straight victories, but dealing with a lot of injuries on their side. Number 6, Guan Dayo, had that hamstring injury very curiously at the end of middle game 4. We don't expect him tonight. Li Jiakang, you might have saw in the highlights, had that hard fall, but he's got some painkillers, some injections, and he'll give it a go tonight. Meanwhile, Alec Brown had that collision, and he's stitched up and trying to provide the offensive spark for the Pilots. The Pilots are trying to claim victory here at Taipei Gymnasium. They did so in Game 4, but they were 3-0 in the regular season. That was a long time ago, though.
Well, speaking of having a shortage of players, Taipei Fubon Braves will be without their points leader, Archie Goodwin, tonight. He's accrued enough unsportsmanlike fouls and technical fouls where he gets a 1-game suspension. So, I mean, timing could not have been any worse or better for the Pilots, really.
Yeah, Archie Goodwin playing all of the Braves games in the Plus League and in the East Asia Super League. He has, in fact, started all of them. So for the Braves to start any combination of imports together will be a new venture.
其实我就是还是互相彼此相信彼此啊，对，然后打的团队一点，虽然少了一些比较主力防守的，但其实我们替补也有几个可以顶上来做出很多防守的工作，对，那其实我还是相信我的队友，对，然后可以赢下这场胜利。我觉得还是一样，就是相信团队，相信队友。为什么会这么说？因为去年都发生的事情我们都做到了，那今年我们还是一样可以啊。像前几场，像职位就是看得出来啊，啊，林正篮底下也是在扛 Holy Face 的时候也不错啊。那我们还有一个接龙呢，对，然后在恩迪也可以再跳出来几场啊，2场我们胜利都是恩迪跳出来的，对啊。那其实我们还是有很多队友是可以为球队做出贡献的，对，那我们就相信彼此啊。
Now, Lu Junxiang Justin before the game had mentioned that You know, it's still important to have faith and belief in their crew, and they've done it last year, and they can certainly do it again. As you mentioned, Ryan, they won back-to-back games, one away and one at home to clinch the finals. And he also mentioned that they have the depth and the bench who can stand out, mentioning a couple of names such as Mingwei, Lingzhen, and Amdi in particular, who had stood out, protecting the paint, corralling those controlling the boards for the Pilots.
Yeah, on the Brave side, they'll be having to face off perhaps a bigger Pilots lineup because we mentioned Guan Dayo might be out, Jack Hong might be limited. On their side, the Braves, without Archie Goodwin, as I mentioned, with the 5 unsportsmanlike fouls, those are accumulated regular season and in the playoffs and finals. And without Goodwin, the Braves, according to Roger, are going to plan B. So it's as if the championship pedigree coach has planned all along that they might be without number 10. And pregame, it was Josh Zhou Guoyu who had his best game in Game 3 on a Wednesday night.
也不会很受打击吧，只是大家都知道说我们的任务就是还没完成，所以不是因为输球或赢球特别心情上特别起伏，也不会因为可能古德温这场被禁赛特别沮丧或什么，但我们都知道。都互相相信每个队友的能力。那古伦这场没办法打，但相信一定有更多的球员可以跳出来。那其实，在大家心情上没有受太大的影响。当然，古伦这场没办法打，就是对我们球队来说是一个伤害，就是他的平均分数在那边。但就是教练团也有告诉大家说，这场比赛绝对不是靠一个人或是2个人就可以去分担掉古德温的分数，或是他在防守上面的一些贡献，而是要靠。每个人、每个球员都上来，然后都为球队付出一点东西，不管是防守还是得分，就算只是个1-2分，或只是一个成功的防守，但大家都把它合在一起，就可以去弥补掉古德温这个点的东西，就是需要靠团队一起去互相帮忙，然后去弥补这个部分嘛。
Zhou Guoyu, you're talking about how the team was notified of Archie Goodwin's suspension. Now it's a huge loss for them. But the job is not finished, and they will really need to rely on each other and be present on the floor. Now, Coach Roger also mentioned that they have to count on every single player to contribute even more so, whether it's having more possessions, more takes, more effort on defense.
On screen now is the alternating wins and loss. Crucially, the Braves claiming Game 1 victories in Taoyuan Arena last year in the finals and this year in the finals, kind of setting the tone. But last year's Pilots were able to come back with double-digit victories in most of the even number games, including in Game 6, where they held the Braves to their lowest score in a Plus League playoff history. Well, the Braves are showing a big step forward in this series compared to last year. Meanwhile, the Pilots are really trying to look for that offensive explosion. Typically, we think of Taipei Hubing Gymnasium as a kind of an offensive bandbox, but it's not played out so far in this series. The two teams averaging just around 80 points per game, to our surprise. And for the Braves, maybe missing Archie Goodwin, we could be surprised by who steps up and if the entire team comes together. They do have a lot of success in the Beast black and gold jerseys, I will say.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, you talked about their points per game has really dropped in these particular finals. Well, the last 3 games, neither team has scored above 90 points. Now, again, without Archie Goodwin, and kind of circling back to what Zhou Guoyu mentioned, now it's really up to the Braves' secondary shooters, and you know, ask and you shall receive, because in the last game the bench really delivered. They outscored the Pilots' bench 47 points to their 25 points, and that was big thanks to Mbaye. He actually came off the bench and he scored 24 points. It was a huge reset, very much needed for the Braves.
Like Michael Singletary suggested, let the game come to him. The 3 officials tonight will be Zhang Weijun, Yu Long, and Zhang Zizhan. As for perhaps the final game of Beast, Lin Zijie, here are the starting lineups for the respective team. The Pilots with a very similar look as they've seen all series. Amdi, Alec Brown, Travion Graham, Ethan Bielsen, and Justin Lu Jingxiao. Justin did come alive in the latter part of last year's finals. For the Braves, Steph Yankovic and Michael Holyfield starting together. Number 11, KJ Hongkaijie, Beast, and Jerry Chen Youwei will round out the starting 5 for the Braves, trying to claim title number 4 here in their Plus League history.
Jump ball violation. Well, that's how we got started in Game 5 also. So again, we're getting a lot of repeats from previous games, even if a different team wins. So again, I mentioned that the Pilots had a 21-point comeback. Well, that was the same for the Fubon Braves.
Well, interesting. After the jump ball violation, we have a double foul on the very first possession with Yulong gesturing at the ball handling point guard.
Again, we're going to be witnessing a very physical game again, and we talked about it before. Jia Kang had that nasty fall, and then we saw Alec Brown basically running into Zhen Xiangjun.
You know, on replay, I don't hate this foul because the Braves have been complaining about the Pilots' offensive players with the up arm action. I think the defensive foul because Chen Youwei engaged first physically. You know, this is the first time in the Plus League history that in the finals, player has been short an import since season 1. Steph Hicks for the Dreamers was the only import available.
A good look there from Andy Dian with a pass downwards to Alec Brown. Alec Brown is also not having the playoff performance as fans and as we have expected now. A huge reason is that the Braves have really got his name and number down as he usually plays off ball. Well, this time around, they're forcing him to make very tough shots. Now, he's usually making those shots, but again, having to play ISO. His three-point percentage has really dropped from the corner. Hong Kai-jie tries to pull the trigger to get his first game start tonight in the finals. Shoot opportunity does not fall for Trevion Graham.
Foul on the rebound. Beast and Amty taking the hit there, but you're right. The Pilots have been racking up their awards, and Alec Brown, back-to-back import of the year, and played very well in last year's finals against, eventually breaking through against the Braves boxing 1.
Close finish for Ling Zijie. Beast mode is the overall theme for the Taipei Fubon Braves this season. This is his swan song, and as you mentioned, Ryan, his last game here at Heping Gymnasium, and let's see if they could close it out tonight for a historical run for Ling Zijie, and the three is no good. And they call another double foul.
It's got to be frustrating for the two teams. This is coming from the same official. Ever since Beast signed with the Braves in 2019 and they played in the ABL, as we see, there's maybe caught them a little bit late. You see the two bigs battling it out the whole way, both of them grappling, and I guess on the replay, it makes sense why they would call a double. But anyways, Beast, as I was saying, actually leads this series plus 26.
There's a curl-in and a kick-out for Hong Kai-jie, and boom goes the dynamite. He really stood out in game 1. Coming off the bench, scored 13 points, so the Braves could really use his scoring abilities tonight.
The Braves have been doing a good job mixing up their defensive coverages.
Too slow there. Amdi Dan logs in his first points tonight. Score now 5-2.
Pilots have been putting Alec Brown on Chen Youwei a lot to be the rover helper.
Fadeaway was too short. Michael Holyfield corrals a rebound. He scored 0 points on Sunday. Youwei with a splash hit.
That's now multiple offensive rebounds for the Braves. And just whittling away at this Pilots group that has played looked like very fatigued across this series.
There's a scoop for Baiyaoten. No look pass over to Zijie, and he will get sent to the free throw line.
But what an opening 3 minutes for Lin Zijie. Got the first score, and then still hustling in the fast break. The Pilots' offense looking very stagnant again. There you see KJ trying to return the favor, and a good job by Beast to maintain balance through that contact.
He's certainly making the most out of this early minutes. He averages 22 minutes in the playoffs. And I believe in the last 3 games, he has scored 9 points. All 3.
Actually upping that to 11. And you mentioned the Braves getting a boost from their bench. You mentioned Mbaye. Well, Jeff Wu also came on to knock down 3 threes. And on screen right now is the Braves free throw shooting across the series. Only taking a stumble in game 2 in Taoyuan Arena, 9 for 20. By my count, this is the only playoff series in Plus League history that the results have not ended in a double-digit blowout.
Very low scoring, very close games. Speaking of free throws, well, Pilots shoots better here at Huping Gymnasium as Alec Brown greases the cylinder for the Pilots. That's their first 3 tonight. Now the Pilots, for them, the paint belongs to the men in orange, but in terms of perimeter shooting, well, what usually is what the Pilots is bread and butter for the Braves, they're out shooting them 33% as opposed to the Pilots' 25 as Sign seal delivered. Yankovic forces the 3 in.
Yankovic has been a big problem for the Pilots defensively. So good from the outside. To get that shot going, they'll have to adjust, the Pilots will. As on the other side, one thing I feel like the Pilots need to do more is pull Yankovic and Holyfield out, and as their small guards drive on them. Meanwhile, you see Travion Graham do a pretty good job until Yankovic with the turnaround and slight fadeaway. No stopping that.
That was tough. We saw the pull-up jumper by Lu Junxiang, and usually he would make those shots, but you can really see him, as you mentioned, Ryan, kind of the Pilots on the court. They're a little bit slow to start in the first quarter.
That wasn't the case earlier in the series, where the starting group would actually jump out to a lead.
Braves still ahead, 12-6. Curlin, kick out over to Yankovic, sidestepping away from Travion Graham. That goes around and out. That's his first 3-point attempt tonight.
Here's the mismatch. Let's see how the Pilots go after it.
That, though, they switch back and pulling the trigger. Travion Graham, no answer from the wing. Beast off the screen with downhill pass to Holyfield, but Butterfingers there for the big. Taipei will get his first foul tonight.
One thing that Justin needs to do is play with good balance. There you see shoulder square and then crossover. Maybe the Braves can complain about embellishment, but his path was impeded.
Well, they also give a warning. The Braves, so again, there's a tight leash on both sides as we take a look at the free throw percentages for the Pauian Pilots in this series. As I mentioned before, they actually are better free throw shooters on the road versus at home at Taoyuan Arena. They're 75% here at Huping Gymnasium.
But crucially, dropping game 1 by missing 13 free throws. And could you believe it? In this series, 65% as a team is better than last year's 61% for the Pilots.
Ouch.
Neither of those really high enough to be comfortable.
Joe pulling up. What a save there, and Yankovic getting the last say. And from the parking lot, KJ for 3. Holyfield picking up another rebound.
Amdi lost attachment to Holyfield.
Got the double foul earlier against each other. 4 seconds remain. Yankovic for the three. Off mark.
Shot clock violation.
So we have ourselves our first timeout in game 6. The score is 12-8. Taipei Fubon Braves having the lead. They have a 3-2 advantage in the series. We'll be right back with more Plus League Finals.
来到第一位朋友，看一下大荧幕。来，你愿意跟比尔当个朋友吗？谢谢你。来2位帅哥美女，来到勇士主场一起交个朋友。哦，在旁边不方便是不是？好，挥挥手，挥挥手，上电视了，欢迎你。来，小朋友，2位朋友，是否愿意跟可爱的小朋友一起当个朋友？来，是，就是你们2个。比个圈圈，跟可爱的小朋友交个朋友，谢谢你们。来，下一位帅哥换你喽。这么害羞，挥挥手，你好，你好，朱子姐，你好。
You're watching the Plus League Finals. This is the Game 6 match between the Taoyuan Pilots and the Taipei Fubon Braves. The Braves are going to try to close out and have a storybook ending here for Lingjie Beast versus the Pilots. Well, they're going to fight tooth and nail to force it into a Game 7.
Really going the Braves Holyfield zone is working out. By that means leaving Holyfield in the middle of the defense and then pretty much everyone else on the outside switching. And one thing that the Plus League Cram School or Thailand Shiban has mentioned is that the Pilots' individual perimeter players are having to switch their own offensive modes a lot, and so maybe not getting the cleanest looks.
No subs coming in on either side yet. A lot of pressure on Lu Jinxiang. He finds Alec Brown, but he's off mark there too. And the last touch goes to Amy Dian with a rim rocker to get his first field goal.
Yeah, brilliant play by Travion Graham. Get up for the rebound and then identify the open man in the same motion.
Looks like Mbaye will be ready to check in as the Pilots close the gap. They're only behind 1 possession, 12-10.
Pilots have Andy out in the perimeter a lot more, maybe as an offensive hub, different than utilizing Alec Brown.
And there's that mismatch, Kaijie, against Alec Brown, and Alec Brown takes full advantage. You see poor guys patched up from Sunday.
Yeah, Brown is trying to move into the painted area, but stay vertical. He's kind of rushed. He was kind of off rhythm most of this series, but that last time in the painted area, just squared up his shoulders, found the opening, and you see the first score for the Pilots out of timeout. And through most of this series, if you can believe it, the Braves have actually been in a shooting deficit against the Pilots. 76 field goals to the Pilots, 84. That goes to show how much more effective they have been offensively and defensively.
Li Jiakang checks into the game. 3 seconds remain. Yowei around. Chen Jiangshuang forces in the 2.
Yowei, one of the best floater in the Taiwan basketball landscape. And sometimes does it on the run, but that time in position as KJ with a very aggressive defensive play. And I think Roger doesn't mind bringing Jeff Wu, who played so well in the last game. Take another look. Graham pick up the dribble. And yeah, that's a hit to the elbow.
Kaijie picking up early fouls. That's his second one. Jeff Wu, well, he had a heck of a game coming off the bench. Again, I mentioned that how important it is for the Braves to have their secondary shooters. He's played the most minutes in the finals. In any of his appearances in the finals, he logged in 14 minutes. He scored 11 points.
Yeah, and that's actually a personal playoff high for Jeff Wu.
I looked back last finals, he didn't play any more than 3 minutes. And is that who I see? Winston checks into the finals for the very first time as Ibaye checks in as well. Again, we've really seen him kind of get a revitalization on Sunday. It was a decision made by Roger to have him play off the bench, and he was so effective that Mo chose to play off the bench tonight.
And boy, did that work. Baye with a first quarter 10 points. Really set the tone offensively for the Braves.
Another three for Woo Young-sun. That looked great. Check that. That was Chen Youwei. 8 points for him. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
Chen Youwei is a much improved three-point shooter during the regular season, 34% and still 33% in these finals. All of his life, defenders have been going under on those ball screens, and he's been able to punish them. I think the Mbaye and Winston combination would actually work very well because both of them are very good mid-range shooters, and they can take a one dribble, maybe pull up, maybe pass, as the Pilots are now struggling from the line in this game. They have been in the penalty, by my notes, since about 7:38 in this first quarter, but they got to take advantage. Chen Jiansong was not part of the Pilots, signed as a free agent, and without Guan Dayou, he a very good, capable substitute.
Youwei to Winston from the corner, just off. And off to the races. Chen Jiansong comes through. Downhill, too strong for Trevion Graham, but Artino will pick up the leftovers.
But Yergi Caminos has found that he wants to have number 25 Lingzhen pair with Artino to keep an eye out on Holyfield.
Another downhill pass. This time is Mbaye. He's got to dig deep. He's got to play more physical tonight, as Artino will get his first personal foul.
Artino is getting plenty of compliments for having lost some weight from his previous stints playing here in Taiwan, but you see not sliding his feet, giving into the hold. But the Pilots did have one foul to give before they're in the penalty.
3 minutes, 20 seconds remain. And Roger is pulling out all the tricks up in his sleeve and really rotating in and out of his players quite often.
Yeah, Josh getting a late substitution in, looks like to be Chen Youwei's replacement.
High up. Baye draws a foul.
This time from a different angle, and that's going to be a big problem. William Artino, a bad closeout and giving in with the foul. That's 2 in the same possession. First from the corner, and then from up top, Mbaye has his choice, choosing to go left. That is a good development for the second-year player.
One of the post-game press conferences, Coach Roger mentioned that, you know, Mo has been very tense before Sunday. He seeked out personal training and personal shootout sessions to the point where, well, his performance on the court, where it actually mattered, really took an effect on him as well as the team. So Roger really reminded Mo that, you know, you don't have to play the big hero every single game. And with less pressure, well, he really delivered. So it's a turnover for the Pilots. It's going to be on Ling Zhen.
Ling Zhen's contributions mostly on the defensive end. Missed 4 good look jumpers, but look, misses are misses. And then not the best with ball security as Artino with 2 personal fouls. We might see Alec Brown way more throughout the rest of the game. Alec Brown second in this series behind Archie Goodwin in minutes played, and it's only by 13 seconds per game.
Now, Artino did foul out. I believe it was game 3, or game 2, which had come to hurt the Pilots.
Fresh back in the game, Yankovic going right at Ling Zhen. And some of this reserves for the Pilots are not doing their part defensively.
Yeah, I think tonight is also a test of whose secondary unit will come up top. So far in this series, the Braves bench have averaged 34 points per game, with the Pilots not too far behind, 32 points per game, as Jonah Morrison, I see he's in the game now.
Jonah getting his first taste of Plus League playoff action, having been on that inaugural year Dreamers team that played 5 games against the Pilots and then 4 games against the Braves.
I believe he also contributed in the CTBCDA's first championship title as Justin tried to sink a 3. Oh, good, and Winston will get his first rebound. A couple of ample minutes right now.
Right away, Jonah Morrison, who's been working out more of a small forward, is on Yankovic.
That's the shot, is off target. Back over to Pilots. Outsped Winston, but once again, Lu Junxiang has yet to get the stroke today. Braves still with the lead, 22-18, Yankovic. Outwards to Jeff Wu for the 3, yes! Down the hatch it goes.
Just like that, there's already starting to become a big margin in 3-point shooting. The Braves now 4 for 11, Pilots 1 for 5, but the only make by Alec Brown.
I remember, for those that watched game 5, they only made 1 in the first half.
Meanwhile, 2 Braves are getting knocked over while Alec Brown gets the foul drawn. Definitely tough for both sides, as Alec Brown looked like he was kind of freaked out that foul might be called on him. Get another look at Alec engaging in a swim move with Zhou Guiyu trying to stay in front, and then there's that Yankovic collateral damage.
Collateral damage is a perfect way of describing it. Brown at the line. Well, Brown managed to get 19 points on Sunday.
It was another struggle from the field, 6 for 16, and one big difference when the series moved to Taipei last time in game 3 and 4, the Pilots imports only combined 3 of 5 from the free throw line, so only 5 attempts. Meanwhile, between Goodwin, Yankovic, and Holyfield, 19 for 30.
Coming through, Zhou Guiyu gets denied upon entry. That rolls out of bounds.
Not good that the only referee on that side did not get a good look at the ball rolling out of bounds. Going to need an assist from his teammates out there, if not going right to the IRS. Yergi was all over it. He's kind of anticipating the call might go the Braves' way, and in frustration is going to issue his challenge.
First challenge call pretty early in the series with 1 minute, 2 seconds remaining in the first. Every possession's gonna matter.
Kind of understandable. There were more pilots in the vicinity, and Mo on his hands and knees by the end of the play.
I'm hearing the referees are seeing Mo's left arm pushing the ball off. So they're going to take a look at different angles. This was. So again, the referee with the best vantage point called it. Couldn't get it right the first time. So we're going to zoom in on the baseline camera on the opposite end.
You can believe it, over the course of the series, the Braves have the 53 to 52 rebounding advantage, but the Pilots having 19 offensive rebounds to the Braves 15. But so far in this one, it seems like the Braves' second chances have had bigger and better payouts.
So now we're seeing Mo with the first touch, but then very quickly, in a quick moment, Junxiang's right arm kind of reaches outwards. Ends up being the last touch. So that was unfortunately an unsuccessful challenge for Jürgi Caminos.
But I really don't blame him. It was just the tick of a finger by Justin.
Beating the clock. Airdrops it. Oh, it's back over to Pilots anyway. As Zheng Xiangjun checks in. And I think I saw from the corner of my eye, Spencer Lin will check into the very first time in the finals.
Almost had himself a last-second buzzer beater assist.
Yeah.
High degree of difficulty will be fair. But the Braves so far, I think they're doing exactly what Quadrant runs. Commitment on the defensive end.
Switch defense here, Alec Brown with a handoff over to Graham with a kick out. 3-second violation on Jonah Morrison.
Whether it was Travion with a reverse or Chen Jiangsong with a possible three-point shot, that's not the first time the Pilots have been called for offensive 3 seconds when their teammate is looking at getting ready for an offensive board.
That's Pilots' second turnover only. The Braves, on the other hand, they've committed 8 turnovers already.
During the regular season, the Pilots are very good at 2-for-1 situations, but playing it slow now with I think Spencer getting the Alec Brown assignment.
Shot clock at 6. With regulation, just a couple of seconds behind and pulling the trigger. It is off mark. Ooh, the backboard. Not quite for the Braves, but they take the first quarter of Game 6 here at Heping Gymnasium with the score 25-19. We'll get things going once again with a quick break, so don't go away. Stay tuned for more Plus League Finals.
继续，我们双手不要停，继续将声音借给勇士，哪边热情，礼物就送过去。
You're watching the Plus League Finals Game 6 here at Heping Gymnasium. We have Hu Longmao, Kevin Hu, amongst the audience tonight. He is the Kaohsiung Aqua's former finals MVP, and we also have Phil Chen, CEO of the new Taipei Kings, making his presence here tonight. Now again, the Braves starting off stronger than the Pauian Pilots, as the Pilots only made 1-3 in the first quarter.
The Braves, 15 attempts from the outside. The highest this playoff run is by the Ghost Hawks, who were majorly shorthanded in their elimination game in the previous round. So the Braves on pace for 60 three-point attempts would be an insane number.
3 seconds off the glass into the ring. Yankovic starting things off in the second.
Yankovic is a matchup problem. The Pilots tried at least 4 defenders on him, and most recently is Travion Graham's turn.
Yeah, the Braves are really going to look onwards to their imports as Lu Junxiang shakes in the 3, and a steal at that. Rubbing salt to the wound, here comes Alex Brown, and 1. Getting the small Pilots crowd, well, not small, a sizable crowd here at Heping Gymnasium going.
What a sequence. First Justin on the dribble handoff, and then Alec Brown, the big catch target. Not enough height underneath to deny that pass, and Alec Brown finding a little bit of luck going his way with this bank shot.
Just the slightest touch from Zhen Xiangjun at number 88. Those are the two that made contact against each other. Zhen Xiangjun saw some bleeding from his teeth. Alec Brown not really having much luck at the free throw line. Now, we kind of talked about it off mic that they had 10 free throw attempts, but they gotta make their free throws also, especially with these such low-scoring games as Will Artino gets things going. There's a kick out to for the 3. Nothing but net for Li Jiakang.
That's the Pilots' way. Big man getting the rebound, whoever starts the break, and then at least in the last couple years, the Pilots become a good three-point shooting team in the regular season. That's why we've been looking for that perimeter attack coming alive here in quarter 2.
Pilots with the lead, 7-2 in the second. We'll be right back.
小球不是礼物，这个只是参赛资格。在第2节打完，记得带着这个小球，今天自己下来就可以了。今天只要自己来到场边来做集合报道，我们欢迎大家来一起参加中场游戏，谢谢。
Welcome back to the Plus League Finals broadcast. Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen presenting to you Game 6. As we have UBA star Sebastian also in the crowd today. As right now the referees are evaluating to see if Lu Junxiang's shot was in fact a 3-point bucket. And now we got another stoppage. score is now tied 27-all. The Pilots can, in fact, shoot from 3. Heard us talking over the broadcast off of Yankovic's screen. Zijie couldn't shake down the 3.
Funny enough, the teams actually have some reverse splits when it comes to scoring at their opponent's venue. The Pilots 35% locals here at Huping, Braves 34%.
That 3 was sent back with interest, but Pilots get another chance. Early 3s in the second. Forced Roger to call for an early timeout. Artino back over to Alec Brown. The long range 2 falls.
That's what we like to see. Maybe some big-to-big passing. We referenced maybe Winston and Mo could be a sweet connection. Well, we saw all season in Plus League, in East Asia Super League, and BCL Age League, Artino and Brown are a very good scoring combination, especially when they're looking for each other.
Around 11 points, leading the Pilots. Shelby back over to Alec Brown. There's the catch and shoot. Smooth like silk for Alec Brown up top.
Yeah, talk about waiting for Alec Brown to come alive. Shaking off those missed free throws. And it'll be a big problem for the Braves if Alec Brown gets going. He really opens up the floor and is a great offensive hub.
Holyfield getting ambushed by Alec Brown. He'll get a chance at the free throw line. Braves will sub in a couple of players before the free throws. As you see the 2 bigs on the Pilots end working like clockwork.
Yeah, Alec Brown leading this series with 3 blocks per game.
So no shooting foul for Holyfield after all, but Mbaye will get the dish from Ling Zijie.
Jiakang even playing through the hurt and discomfort, going right at Taoyuan in a transition. Even though that was kind of the angle that he took that hard foul. You see the hand on the back, good foul call by the official. Shouldn't be any question by the Braves if it was a foul or not.
That was scary to watch him. He, again, I mentioned in the game, at least he was rolling back and forth, but he had to be carried off. Luckily, not serious enough as Will Artino gets the hook, line, and sinker. With the Pilots now leading 34-29.
Yeah, Artino's been able to score with good efficiency on this series, but the key is on the defensive end, especially when he's got a matchup with the Braves power forwards. Not this case. He's on Holyfield and Brown is on Mo.
4 seconds, a pocket pass to KJ does not connect. Outwards to Jiakang. And here comes Justin. Night King puts it down.
You see the Pilots finally playing at the rhythm. Here he always references the rhythm they want. Square, facing the basket, drop defenders, and then hit your open teammates as the Pilots just commit their first team foul of the quarter.
There's a huge difference just between the first quarter and what we're seeing right now. From the field, they're already hitting 7 of their 8 shots. They're just playing with a lot. It's a lot more effortless on the Pilots' end. Yoe gets one down.
Yeah, that was a Braves staple, a post split, taking from the Golden State Warriors and other iterations of the Princeton offense. Worked like a charm.
Yoe now taking the lead for the Braves. 10 points on the score. That was too short for Jiakang, and a 3. Valiant effort by Artino. He made 2 the other night in Torren Arena. Another misfire pass. That might be the 10th turnover from the Braves. And we love the effort there from Chen Yoe.
Keep maintaining. Taoyuan might be the best shot blocking guard in plus league play. Usually does it from the perimeter, but this time Chen, he always takes that right-handed layup the same way. He needs to switch it up because opponents have caught him multiple times in these finals. Maybe change up the angles, change up the rhythm, most importantly, might be the best effect as Graham returns.
13 on the clock. Pilots take hold of the lead. Long two. Taking inspiration from the AB, and Lington fighting through. He corrals another opportunity for the Pilots. But that pass goes back to Braves. Here comes Jeff for his second. And that was really trying to force it. Big Mo pull-up jumper, good.
That's exactly how he got his scoring started in Game 5. This time, kind of turning the corner, and Baye is pretty lethal from 10 feet to 15.
Yeah, 8 points so far in this game. Langton dials in, no answer. Kick out to Yoe. Pulling up. And there we go. Holyfield gets it off the glass. Trying to buy a foul from the referees. The score now 37-35.
The Braves are taking advantage of the fact that the Pilots have a lot of non-shooters out there between Ethan, Lington, and Willie Martino, so able to pack the paint, force the Pilots to take outside shots, and able to corral the rebound and go out in transition for some advantage as we listen in to the Pilots timeout.
When you are the shooting game, once the league shows, you can cut. And we are coming from the wing. Listen, swing. That's one thing, please. This is the one three-point shot. It's the one that they run. We need to cut from here. Okay? Now, it's quality from the bench, not quality for shooting and no win. No win. Okay? Open. We go to play 4 straight. 4 straight. Now we go like this. Million.
Looking onward at Ling Zijie here on the screen, we saw a lot of fans bringing in signages or their towels with Ling Zijie on it. He's had an illustrious career here in Taiwan, out in the CBA. And as mentioned in the past, Roger and him have had a working relationship since Beast was 18 years old, and really seeing him play at the standard that he still is quite impressive and respected amongst everyone here in Taiwan Pro Ball.
Yeah, I was kind of starting in the opening segment. Beast actually was contemplating retirement upon that first injury he sustained in the ABL. And then the Plus League was formed, and the legend continued to grow.
So we also saw Archie Goodwin. Again, he's sitting out in tonight's game. Probably itching to get back on. That's Dokryu's third foul committed tonight. Or the third team foul for the Braves. 2 from the Pilots so far in the second.
Let's see if the Pilots can work a little bit differently with Amdi instead of Lington. Again, spacing is a problem with this unit.
Denied entry. Back over to Xiaobai. They call another 3-second violation.
Pilots can't really afford to play with this outfit. As there you go, Brown and Justin coming in. I think you might have pointed something out very wisely in the postgame for the Pilots to not alternate Brown and Justin's minutes down the stretch. Those are the offensive engines for the Pilots. I guess Yergi's trying to maximize their output when they're out there together.
serve by Zogui, not even making eye contact with Big Mo.
You know how in baseball, if a hit by pitch goes off the rear end of a player and bounces off, that's kind of what I pictured there.
Oh, that's quite a picture that you painted there. Andy too strong off the glass. Very physical, bodies hit the floor. That was Trevion Graham there. It's 5-3, and here comes Big Mo. Throwing it down for the, putting on a show for the Heping fans.
Great job by the Braves, playing with the advantage there, not settling for an outside shot. Jeff Wu drawing the attention thanks to his three-point shooting in the last game, and then perhaps a delay of game should be issued with the ball getting away.
So they're going to give a warning on Trevion Graham for flopping. A warning.
And as strong as the Pilots have played all season, they've really allowed their lead in this game to dissipate through bad lineups and bad offensive choices. Their defense in the half court, is pretty good.
Here comes Justin for the three, nothing but air. It is still Pilots ball.
I can only assume slippery fingers with Justin, but there's been a ton of physicality under the basket that the refs are letting both teams play out.
Yeah, that's between, yeah, there's a slippage there from Andy.
I think that would be the right call there. That must be a wet spot from a previous play.
The score remains tied, 37-all. 4.5 minutes remain. Crew chief talking it out. So in these finals, neither team has really been able to build on the previous game, just as we saw from the last finals. We take a look to see whose possession it is. I need to zoom in on that particular angle.
Tough to see because both hands are very close to each other. So I don't really blame the official for needing a little bit of assistance though. This time number 77 making an out of bounds call right away.
So it ends up being Braves ball.
One thing that must be worrying for the Pilots, if you maybe imagine or put aside the Archie Goodwin absence, who's out because of accumulated unsportsmanlike fouls, suspended for 1 game. The Braves, in 10 out of 12 finals games in their history following the previous, have increased their scoring output. So the Pilots need to get their offense going to match.
The whistle comes. Basket does not count. So they call it Yankovic on the illegal screen. It seemed to be a pretty late call there.
I'd agree. There is some, there's definitely contact made there. So it looked like a secondary reaction, maybe a secondary coverage error kind of situation.
It should have been called yesterday, but we move on. Holyfield gets a breather. Chen Xiangjun returns.
There's now 4 Braves with 2 personal fouls.
Braves running a switch. Bounces out of bounds. It is still Braves.
The Pilots running the same play, kind of that blind dribble or handoff with Brown and Justin, but the Braves were much more on top of it. Chasing Justin in the painted area, who threw a ill-advised pass for a turnover.
Blue finding Zhen Xiangjun. Here's the dish and the swish attempt. Jeff, though, charging through with a rebound.
Considering Holyfield is not in there, not a good enough lockout from the Pilots as a squad.
Here comes Yankovic, too strong. Trying to beat the clock.
There, great help defense by Alec Brown diving in at the perfect time to affect that shot.
The Pilots really not letting Yankovic make threes tonight. That's his bread and butter. Taoyuan Graham digging in deep. He draws a foul.
Man, but the Pilots desperately need something to get going. They've been held scoreless for the last 5 minutes.
It's as if they had kind of ran out of gas from early in the second quarter. We were talking about it. They were raining threes. They heard us talking. Trying to make up the difference, but as you said, Ryan, being scoreless now, well, they can't afford it. Because there's no more games. If they lose tonight, they'll give the Taipei Fubon Braves their 4th championship title. That is the most any team has had. 39-37. Yankovic wide open. Andy wants to review that foul call.
And he came over in a flash, and I think Andy might have a case, though. It is awfully close to the ball in the wrist area. Credit to the Pilots. They had to withstand the Braves' really aggressive defense in the first quarter, and still trying to put the ball in the painted area and draw the Braves foul. So they've had way more free throw attempts, but they're not converting on enough of them. Meanwhile, Yankovic trying to keep the Braves close.
In game 5, the Braves were 66% hitting those free throws. Junxiang loses it. Taiwan said Winston coming through. Junxiang screen. Foul comes for Pilots once again. That's their 3rd team foul.
And just like the end of the 4th quarter, Justin has really been the biggest disappointment for the Pilots. Multiple turnovers now in this quarter, and then there's been a few times where he's got a lapse of concentration. There you see kind of drifting back for a blockout when Tai Winston was charging in at him. I would have figured that he probably needs to do a face-up blockout. Make sure he keeps number 14 off the boards.
Fadeaway is not good for Yankovic. Yeah, we're seeing more so little spurts, but them unable to carry on the momentum. Well, you see, they're just only ahead by 1 point, and you can't have these turnovers either, so they kind of stifled themselves towards the end of the second as Yoei tries to force one in. That sails off mark, though.
You gotta think of these quarters more into splitting them into thirds, because the Braves have that experience and have that head coach who will lead them the way, but the Pilots seem to lose concentration in the 4-minute spurts.
Lighting in, swinging it over to Hong Kai-jie. 100% effort there for Winston. You see him, the only Braves there, trying to fight for that board. And another turnover for the Pilots. That's back-to-back turnovers for the away team.
Not quite the same, but reminiscent when the Taoyuan Graham let a ball bounce off of his stomach and for a turnover back in the first couple of games in Pauian.
7 seconds. Yankovic Outwards to Winston. Wow.
He didn't get any jumping on that three-point shot. He usually gets off the deck about 6 inches, so he's kind of going for a set shot. Beast tried a set shot too. It must be very late in the season.
And look, listen, all I can say is I appreciate the effort from Taoyuan Chen. He is getting ample amount of minutes tonight. Makes me question, will these be his final moments playing pro?
Beast's signing situation always much more in the spotlight, but Winston has also been from the 3P Braves to still locker room leader listening to the Braves the timeout.
不能让他，如果刚才那个博朗，他会从这边这样跑过来，所以这边的人要跟，你要不然就是换。Well,
those are the stats we were referencing. The average here at Huping Gymnasium, just around 80%. Well, the local scorers in the mid-30s vehicle percent-wise, but the biggest difference is that the Pilots only get 29 points from their imports versus the Braves 44. We do expect that number to flip here in this game 6. But as it stands right now, it's the Pilots up by just 1 point, having been held by just 1 bucket in the last 8 minutes of play or so. Very dreadful offense for them. Meanwhile, the Braves hanging in there. I think their offensive scheme or defensive scheme is basically pack the paint. On offense, well, whatever shot is taken, they are crashing the boards hard, really, and also jamming the Pilots from going on a transition attack.
Ryan, you ain't mincing words for the Pilots. But again, this is to say that they've been dominant all season long, so it just goes to show regular season and playoffs. Comparing those two, well, it's a whole different thing. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Good help on the dig against Alec Brown, poking that ball away. The Braves willing to sacrifice free throw attempts by the Pilots.
Off mark for Artino.
Yeah, shot that one off rhythm.
Couldn't pull the trigger at the first beat. Mo in the corner. Finding B, 6 seconds. Up against the season MVP. 2 seconds left. Yes! Beast mode on for the long 2. No, correction, that's a 3. Put that on the highlight reel. And of course, it had to be Ling Zijie to bring them back the lead here at Huping Gymnasium. As I mentioned, all the signs here for Beast.
And just when Justin mentioned doing his best against Ling Zijie, he pulls out some magic in the end. Hopefully he'll be good to go for the second half of play.
What a way to end the first half of Game 6. We'll have Yang Zhenlei interview Coach very shortly.
场面为您访问到的是许金的总教练，就是一个问题：今天派上了这个系列战第一次上场的蔡文成，许哥的安排是什么？
我希望在郭伟没办法打的状况下，所有人都能够跳出来。尤其杰哥如果下去，我们缺少像阿奇的这个点，我更希望文成在上面可以去带动大家。
谢谢许哥，谢谢。我们休息一下之后回来。
经过 IS 的检视之后呢，确认志杰最后这一球是2分球。OK， 进入中场休息时间。
还是给勇士跟杰哥掌声鼓励。接下来提醒大家，移动的朋友请小心您的脚步。我们准备要关闭场灯，倒数3、2、1，进入中场时间呢，我们要带给大家中场演出的也是年度最佳啦啦队Fubon Angel带给大家我们本季勇士队的主题曲，也请所有现场的朋友，让我们再一次的用热情掌声欢迎Fubon Angels。
抬起头，你在左右，对我说还没到尽头，再慢点松手，就算痛也不放手，我有你会陪着我走，我永不退缩，我勇敢向前冲。就算失败，也要停下了站，就走，忍受自我，也要发光闪烁。
掌声送给Fubon Angels。好，再次提醒中场游戏的8位参赛者，帮我赶紧来集合参加我们的中场游戏。还有神预测的中场人来了吗？赶快来领你的机票。先不。
来，欢迎来到中场的台南补习班。今天的呈现方式又做了一点不太一样哈。同时，我们欢迎了崇超同学加入啊，
终于加入了补习班啊。
对，好的，话不多说，我们马上先请秋哥讲解一下上半场发生的事情。
是的，我赛前有说过勇士在缺少古德温的情况，还是要争取冠军的话呢，他必须呢立足在防守，直接告诉对手，我就是要换防，我困难的时候我就包夹。而且呢，我特别时段我用 box and one，我先把我做出的选择的答案丢给对手，看你对手怎么解，我再来辩证。所以呢，上半场呢得到很多的篮板，也造成了对手的这种低命中还有失误。可是呢，进攻缺少了古德温之后呢，并没有把这个优势防守拼下来的优势去撑起这个比赛的更好、更顺畅的一个这种崛起哈。
好，我们马上进影片，来。OK， 就从这边开始哈。对，快攻的防守还原，
对，退防很快。接着呢压迫、移动，现在开始了，准备换防。第一道被割破，第二道来换防，挑战进攻者，你做出什么手段？你怎么去重新建立你进攻？这个就启动了一个非常好的 all switch， 让进攻我把答案给你了，你去解，你怎么去建立你的更复杂的进攻手段。
好，那我们看下一球。
好，
有第二个片段。
好，第二个片段，不管你打什么牛角什么的，我都换，我不管。高的手矮的，再来小个子推给大个子，说防守，再喊换，造成对手呢更费工、更费力，打得更复杂，直接造成3秒禁区，3秒。又是一个成功的，
没错，这个球我们影片同时同步进行，影片稍微倒退一下，稍微倒退到前面这个时候呢，博朗在这边接球，博朗接球的时候是小个稍微停一下小个 X1、X2， 这个地手来的时候呢，他马上换防，所以切入的同时下滑，这时候呢，弱边的 X5 直接上来顶住博朗。那同时呢，外围直接往外抓，直接往外抓。那第一时间发现里面没机会，只能往外传的时候，禁区塞满了人。
没错，更重要的是呢，更重要的是呢，我们不管怎么样，透过换防，我新的人来防守你，
对，
就考验你的进攻路线都被我卡死了，
没错，
你的进攻脚步你已经模糊了，你怎么重新建立？所以进攻呢，往往在没有时间、没有角度的情况下呢，很难去重新规划他的攻击路线，也就是说会造成他的攻击路线呢很模糊，会产生他的攻击路线呢。管理不善，
会阻塞了，
就像进到了和平馆的三角洲啊，
没错，
完全迷失方向啊。
所以今天取到了很多的优势，在这个方向抓准对手的什么人性最弱的那一
有，但是呢，我们上一集讲过，领航员是什么样的球队，一步都没有退，所以我们看一下第3球，我们看一下领航员也做了一些调整，
对，适时的调整，
一步都没有退，一步都没有退，
对，一些变化。哦，就是这一球了，诡谲的路线，有点像之前日本在打亚洲杯，给我们展现的一种车步边的打法哈。我们回到前面博朗接球那里，当博朗在这边第一位 ，OK， 这里哈高一点接球的时候，一般来讲防守都会防堵上线 ，OK， 防堵的是上线，这里一个人，这里一个人，这里一个人，这里一个5号，以为他可能会传球，他可能会往上运，那这时候呢，更重要的是一个后挡，让卢俊祥哈。69号，然后从这里冲过来 ，OK， 这是一个非常难以预测的路线，
没错，
非常难以预测的路线。
所以呢，刚刚富邦做出了这种策略 all switch， 那领航员真的也找到了5号位216在这，后面是不改的，
对
，OK， 他直接找到破解，从这边呢，射手
69，
从这个地方来，这里做一个偷偷摸摸的小小的小给球，
对。
让整个防守呢没办法察觉，
尤其我们从画面上看到他们又换防，变成不擅长追防的杨科维奇出来守了。
没错，所以这个呢也是领航员破解了，也破解了一个你 all switch。我现在这个博朗咖啡在上一场内线打得很辛苦，
对，
这次打得更巧，我用巧的。OK， 你对付我人性的弱点，我也对付你人性的弱点。
好的，那接下来呢，我们看看下半场会有什么样更诡谲的这种人性考验啊！
没错，一步都没有退的，看看哦，
一步都退不了。
这样可以吗？从超我们今天的台南补习班，
哇，学到了，学到了，学到了
啊！希望在这个部分可以让你满意啊！
啊，没问题，没问题。相信线上广大的这个球迷朋友们也都学到了。对，好，我们稍微进入广告，我们再回到第2段的中场讲评时间。
谢谢。
看一下动态摄影师帮我秀你的礼物，谢谢你们，球衣什么都可以秀出来，谢谢你们，谢谢，辛苦了，来后方领奖，谢谢你们。接下来比尔留步，我们机票得主来了，恭喜你，来比尔带着他，一起合照一张，恭喜你，获得由星宇航空所提供台北到福冈双人来回机票。恭喜你！
留在身上的不是捍卫，是留给地球的人情味。
速度会变，但赛意不变。富邦 Run for Green。让跑步创造更多可能，正向力量成就可能。富邦金控。
新的设计，因为我觉得这样子上
全新富邦证券 AI Pro。即刻展开，资讯立即启动。
场边为您访问到的是卡总 Caminos。Okay, Coach. Only 1 point. So what is the key element for the second half, you think?
I think that is keep the defense that we have on the second quarter. We allow them 15 points and only the last buzzer beater. If not, we're 13. If we are able to do this and play a little bit more with the pass, the moment that we did well, we have open shot. We make these shots because we create time for this shot. For me, the moment is there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
好，卡总在那边提到，下半场的关键呢，认为就是防守，因为他们在第2节的防守做得相当的不错。另外就是空档的把握性，如果可以把握住的话，像第2节，所以他们希望能够打出像第2节这样子的内容，在下半场才有机会赢球。我们现在把时间交还给主播台。
We'll take a look at the halftime stats here. Game 6 of the finals. It is a must-win for the Pilots to stay alive in the finals. The Braves, though, they could take it all tonight. So again, a low-scoring affair, and the Braves managed to get the lead thanks to Beast beating the clock. As we take a look, Braves tonight, they are making a lot more attempts overall from the field. Now, they've only made 4 of their threes, though 18%. So that's something that the Pilots can be happy about.
Meanwhile, both teams can't be happy with the turnovers that we're seeing out there and a high number of offensive rebounds for both squads. You've got to value the basketball and then try to get into some rhythm, as both teams obviously very familiar with each other.
Only one player from the Pilots have scored double digits, and that is Alec Brown, 14 points. But something that we also is worth mentioning is that he and Trevion Graham were sent to the line the most for the Pilots, but they have still been inconsistent. And they've really suffered at the line, which they could actually take the lead, or they could have had the lead. Whereas for the Taipei Fubon Braves, Pauian coming off the bench has 10 points. Taoyuan Wei, 10 points. As we take a look at some of the highlights here.
Beast's possible final game, he got him off to a pretty good start with that fast break layup and then drawing the defensive attention and assist for 3 points. And the Braves, as detailed by the Thailand Pushiban, the Cran School, are mixing up their defensive coverage, mainly a lot of switches. And as Yergi mentioned, he wants to see the Pilots score more with the pass. I would actually counter that. You need to get better off-ball movement. A lot of times guys are standing in place or crashing the rebound before a shot even goes up. And for the Braves, without Archie Goodwin, they're still getting some good contributions with a little bit of these halfway drives between Pauian, Taoyuan Wei, and their rotations are very different. And going for their 4th title, a couple years removed from the three-peat against the prospective back-to-back champion Pilots, I don't expect the scoring to really pick up in the second half.
Now, Roger mentioned before our first halftime break on rotating more of his secondary unit, primarily, you know, talking about Winston. Taipei Chen now without Archie Goodwin. He's hoping to, again, play and rotate in and out of those players more often. And he wanted, particularly Winston, the veteran of the team besides Beast, to take the lead, especially while Beast is taking breaks and is benched.
And I think the good thing about the Braves is everybody who's been on the floor has been following their defensive principles quite well. They have not let anybody to leak to the basket for easy looks.
Well, that's what we have so far as we get into another break, as we'll return back to gameplay very shortly.
Check, check, check. 这里是勇士的阵地，蓝色血脉的汇聚，和平光灯光亮起，没人能挡住这股战役。从老将到新血，每个名字都是传奇。准备好迎接这场统治烂摊的游戏。Let's go。发动仪器，东北交易课正在超车，速度像闪电，蓝牙像跑车。来听人切入，防守者只能看着它消失。小方阵有尾，却发动机控球像史诗。视野像导航，精准传承一些。后场智慧让对手陷入苦战边缘。开始森林也有 MIT 的学霸，头上盖的炸弹精准投射让对手害怕。还有武勇士帅气球技没人能写，光明剑谱降临，全场迷妹都为他沦陷。开启 KJ，锋芒内敛放冷箭，三分入。 霸业的震撼，最强外击声让对手陷入黑暗。强大森将力篮般怪物的怒吼，扬和威气加拿大 AKA 塞维亚的节奏，内外兼具，教科书般的技术，火力飞手在禁区那是霍家式的一击。别忘了本土中丰收在蓝地，真相尽在那，酷帅高人气实地，最高优势摆在那，篮筐由他来守护，勇士队的禁区就是进攻者的坟墓。这是勇士的节奏，蓝色的荣耀，冲入天上射灯泡，让全场都尖叫，红老将到星星，每一步都是经典，最强的阵容写下最佳的诗篇。Fubon Braves, we are best， 台北富邦勇士，接着thành拳，不管对手是谁，我们依然站在最前方。我们Fubon勇士制霸全场的霸气，勇士前踢，准备接管这场胜利。We are Braves, we are best。
Welcome back to Heping Gymnasium. Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen presenting to you Game 6 of the 2026 Plus League Finals. As we get started very shortly on the second half of Game 6, a must-win for the Pilots to extend the series to a Game 7 versus the Braves. Well, they can end it all tonight here at home. We get started. Pilots starting up thanks to Trevion Graham.
One thing to take note that in the game, only 2 players in the first half played more than 20 minutes. That was Alec Brown and Justin. With Justin only 2 for 8 with not the best decision making. You got to wonder if fatigue will play a factor down the stretch.
Through the baseline over to Wu. Letting the clock run. House in the house, off mark. And what a save for Taoyuan, but basket does not count after all.
What a play by Taoyuan to kind of take on Alec Brown, who you know will be guarding number 4 a lot of the time, trying to leave him open from the outside. But Taoyuan does have the moves for possible inside scores.
Taoyuan logged in just under 18 minutes again, scored 10 points in the first half. There's a dish and swish for Lu Junxiang.
Again, that's the same play they ran with Alec Brown on the post-up. Justin curling on the baseline for a quick handoff, and with different players out there for the Braves, maybe not used to that look.
There's another 3 sent back with interest. Graham trapped. Finds it Xiaobai. And Alec Brown left wide open. Drops a 3 from the corner. It's already 2-3 shaken in by the Pilots, but hold on now. They had an early lead in the second quarter, but got the yips or stifled as they went 5 minutes without scoring towards the end. Holyfield draws a foul. Nothing personal between the imports.
When the Braves are in that defensive alignment, that means Holyfield or Yankovic would be the big underneath the basket. Well, with Justin trailing from the baseline, that means that becomes their assignment. The Braves might need to switch up that coverage as Justin has knocked down 2 of his 3s that way. Meanwhile, on the other side, get a feeling that the Braves are able to beat their man a little bit more than the Pilots on the one-on-one perimeter attack that's resulting in some of these switches, and Holyfield the benefactor of these free throws.
Pilots on a 8-0 run. Holyfield only getting 1 free throw. He only scored 2 points first half. Been spending most of his energy and physicality on defense, so that doesn't really give him much allowance to score in the finals. Squirted out of bounds. It is Braves ball.
This time they jumped the handoff, and Justin tried to flare away from it, but not on the same page with Alec Brown. You know, look, see Bai so jammed up, and then Jeff Wu disrupting the play as well. Different starting lineup for the Braves for sure.
The whistle comes. That's going to be on Xiaobai. Second team foul for the Pilots. Xiaobai fouled out towards the end of Sunday evening's game.
One of the keys when you are so pressed up, you need to be attached to the hip. That really forces the offensive player to go the other way.
4 seconds. Beast with a kick out of bounds.
And it definitely looked like Justin was about to snatch that out of the air and end up playing the chickaroo on Jeff Wu behind him.
Let that one go. Smart move. Pilots ball.
This is something we expect to see more high pick and roll.
Off to the races. Zijin, no look pass over to Yowei, pulling up. Too far to the right, out of bounds. It is still Braves.
Talk about hurried basketball. Even Taoyuan kind of lobbed up a desperation shot and was just lucky to be in the vicinity for a rebound. Here you see with Amdi and Alec Brown nearby, kind of throwing up a prayer. Or was that a pass to Holyfield?
We'll never know, Ryan.
Never know.
We don't know. Mo getting a breather.
Short rotation minutes for Mo, maybe on account of the injury.
Shaking in the three. One-legged three at that. Hong Kai-jie hasn't really had much luck. Actually, hasn't had much luck. He's 1 for 6 hitting those threes tonight. A downhill pass to AB, misses the connection. Braves ball.
No more challenges as Pilots were unsuccessful in the first half.
Yergi Caminos called for an early challenge in the first quarter. Let's see here. I don't know, it looked like it was still Brown as Yowei does not make the connection there. Kai-jie for 3, yes! There you have it, he's in his Guai bag. 6 points for him. He is now 2 for 7. Let's see if the Pilots can hang on to that lead. Unfortunately, tough break there for Amdi Dian. For the 3, Yankovic off the glass into the circle. That's got to feel good for Yankovic. He's got 9 points in this game.
And the Pilots, we said in the second quarter, kind of making poor decisions. Well, 2 missed opportunities down alley-oops. And that is basically a 10-point swing.
Again, for the Pilots, we're seeing spurts of energy from them, but they just can't seem to keep hold and stay consistent. As for the Braves, well, they seem to be more responsive. Downhill curl to Taoyuan. The touchdown for who they call Xiaopao for the Braves. Little race car racking up the points for the Taipei Fubon Braves. As I mentioned, Pilots had an 8-0 run, but now again they've been stifled. Scoring has been on hold for the Pilots still. There's a foul there from Alec Brown.
Does that sometimes where he's a frustration foul, and this one it looks like a fatigue situation. And that's a horrible news for the Pilots, for Alec Brown to be out of breath and fatigued. And they end up giving up their lead that they've worked so hard to build up.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Braves have taken advantage of the fact that the Pilots are kind of sluggish on their switches defensively. And Taoyuan took advantage, a tough take even around Amdi.
I mean, look, this is a tough finals. We've heard in the pregame interviews, you know, these teams are very familiar with each other, so there's mental fatigue at that, but also the quick turnarounds in this series where at most we only had 2 days of rest. So it's really, we're really seeing the pilots kind of getting worn down by that.
Yeah, they played their worst game after the 2-day break in game 3.
Ouch. So we have ourselves our first timeout in the third quarter. Braves taking back the lead, 49-47. We'll be right back with more Plus League Finals.
来，第一位朋友，欢迎你跟着安娜一起跳跳舞。别害羞，别害羞，一起动一动。小朋友跟着安娜姐姐一起来。来，这位朋友跟着 Tracy。
Welcome back to Heping Gymnasium for Game 6 of the Plus League Finals. It's Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen with you all series long. As we're coming out of the first timeout from this quarter. Pilots showed a spurt of energy to start things off. And the Braves, without much effort, they climb back with the lead.
Yeah, the Pilots with a couple of giveaways, a couple of missed alley-oop conversions by the Pilots being live ball turnovers. KJ and Yankovic, a couple back-to-back threes right away got this thing tied up. And then the Pilots, you can see their fatigue levels on defense. So anyway, able to drive on. As we mentioned, Justin's probably losing his legs even at a faster rate after playing 20 minutes, taking 8 difficult shots in the first half.
That's a slight concern for the Taoyuan Pilots in the first half. Now, I mentioned before the game, now points in the paint, the Taoyuan Pilots have been consistently dominating, but to end the first half, well, they both scored 16 points. That hasn't happened in the series. It's usually Pilots.
There, Alec Brown is staying in.
Off mark, though, unfortunately, still for Lu Jinxiang.
That time, William Martino was doing all the work, but not getting even a touch. So the offense, like you say,
All effort there for Li Jiakang. Zhou Guiyu will get his first foul in the third. You can't tell that Li Jiakang had that nasty fall on Sunday. Just the way that he's fighting to clear the rebound. As we see in the background, Brandon Gilbeck is also here tonight. Just won his first ever championship title with the Formosa Dreamers. Still here in Taiwan, he's got training with the national Chinese Taipei team. There's another turnover committed by the Pilots. It's the third one in this quarter. Stepping back, pulling the trigger. And back with interest, but back over to Youwei's hands.
maybe from all those misses, Taylor becomes his best rebounder.
Turnover and touchdown and one for Pauian.
Well, for once, the Braves giving the Pilots a cookie, and unfortunately, KJ has to pay for it by giving effort and allowing the and one on the other side. This should be one of the Braves' best guard lineups out there. And Pauian finally getting a layup to go down after coming from this color guy, not switching it up enough, kind of twisted his body a little bit differently than usual, giving his shoulder a little bit more separation from his shooting finger roll.
KJ has already 3 fouls tonight. Now again, Coach Roger talking about rotating in and out of his secondary unit more often. Again, we saw Winston play 8 minutes, but yet to make an appearance. The vets are going to come in later on as Michael Holyfield comes through to bring down the hammer.
Yeah, while the Braves got the Pilots so occupied with that two-man game with Josh up top, Holyfield with a good seal.
So they're going to call it on Michael Holyfield. That's his third one, as we see first posterizer. Gonna convert that possession into points there. Back to Braves. Downhill pass. There's some entanglement there between Artino and Holyfield, and frustrated Artino walking towards the crew chief, asking where the foul is. Contesting that it wasn't him that should get called the foul, as he gets called a technical. That's his 4th foul. So Braves get 1 free throw. As we see here, it's between Holyfield and Artino.
I'd have to say Artino does trying to jump back in the picture, engage in an arm hold himself, but to battle for position, Holyfield with a good timing on the roll. Artino trying to jump back in the play and maybe tug down at the end. It's kind of a tough case, though, for the Pilots to get an unsportsmanlike foul in the after fact.
14 seconds on the shot clock. Braves ball. Two-point lead, make it 4 points. Thanks to Hong Kai-jie. He made a 3 earlier and gets his first 2-point. Junxiang finding Xiaobai, reset out. It's a high screen set by Artino. Hop step, no opening though. Fights through, no travel call. Around and out of the ring. Kai-jie outnumbered, waiting for the trailers. Yankovic, there's a mismatch. Gets called the offensive foul.
And just when you think the Braves are about to break the Pilots, this is not the first time it's happened where Yankovic has a shorter defender on him. Look at what the left off arm does, immediately going over the shoulder. That's an easy call for the official. He's putting his hand over Jackie before he's even starting his move. Usually, once you take the dribble, you have the argument like, hey, I'm just, you know, my natural body mechanics are moving that way. He was taking that advantage from the jump.
Not his first offensive foul either. Earlier in the game, he also was called out on an illegal screen. Junxiang, that goes high up and out. Again, can't seem to buy a bucket right now. Neither can Alec Brown.
More attacking in transition for the Braves.
Intercepted there by Xiaobai, but that was also intercepted. No call there. The game continues onward. Holyfield with the gentlest touch.
If you're the Pilots, you got to be frustrated because you felt like in transition, your guys got knocked over in the first half, but the Braves aren't going to say sorry for it.
So a lead, a small lead, but a lead nonetheless for the Taipei Fubon Braves, 56-50. The Pilots managing to only score 3 points after the called timeout.
The reason the referees might let that one go is because you could say the defender is not allowing Zhou Hui to catch the ball and make a move. As you see Chen Youwei's effort, I don't know how he was able to get it to cut off as in a changeup. I thought he was going to throw it to the middle floor with a Pilot was already waiting. And Michael Holyfield with a finesse finish. Well, the Braves, after going down to the Pilots early in the third, have come back with a vengeance. Who says they can't win without their leading scorer?
So far, so good. But we have seen late comebacks, 2 games in a row at that, in different stadiums.
The key for the Pilots, though, is don't start too late, or maybe don't start too early, because they came within 5 points with 7.5 to go in quarter 4 of game 5.
Well, Ryan, it seems like it's been a Goldilocks kind of situation. Both Braves and Pauian Pilots, they've had comebacks a little too little too late, versus right now, well, Pilots, they're coming in too early with the comebacks.
And the Pilots have been playing a very short rotation here in the third quarter, so if they're not making any headway, they're just going to tax themselves even more with fatigue in the fourth quarter.
Another physical battle here in the third quarter. Free throws will be automatic for the Braves. End it? No. Still no dice for the Pilots, and here comes Taoyuan, little race car. And with the touch, back to Yankovic, shaking off Alex Brown, and connection is not made. The effort is there for the Braves. Artino, still nothing. They can't even get the friendly bounce either.
Now, usually the pretty efficient Artino, 2 for 6 so far in this game, and having to spend a lot of energy trying to guard their big.
And Yoe does it once again. I mean, look, it might be a little bit early to say, but if the Braves win tonight, I think he might be a top contender for the finals MVP. You take a look from the field, the Braves are 7 for 17, whereas the Pilots, well, it keeps depleting. And finally, Artino gets a break.
Taoyuan is certainly the standout player of this game, playing good defense, and as Roger wants them to do, push the pace. And Taoyuan has demonstrated great shot making from about 10 feet away.
He's the player that's logged in the most minutes for the Taipei Fubon Braves. As Artino gets ready for his free throws. And again, as we mentioned during halftime, it's so essential for the Pilots to make as many of them as possible. Again, we're talking about a very low-scoring series.
Well, we complimented the Pilots for improving on last year's finals. Well, on this game, now have sunk below 50% from the line.
You take a look. Pilots 7 for 16. Braves far more consistent at the line tonight. Could be better, but look, better than 43%. 3 seconds remain. Step back 3 for Yankovic. Just off mark. The Holyfield digs deep. Too strong.
On the pregame, one of the Pilots, and actually I think the Braves fan pointed out he's afraid of Owen getting going. So far scoreless.
Braves kind of had a brain fart there as Alex Brown just getting the yips. The third quarter forces in at 2, and he's got 19 points. But really, I mean, as you mentioned, Ryan, the Pilots look pretty gassed. Holyfield, 2-against-1, charging foul.
Yeah, initially had a little bit of daylight with the catch against Artino, but as soon as he turns, got a shoulder bump, and I think a good call by the officials. There you see initially beat, but immediately before Artino can establish himself, gets into a cylinder. And Is that right? Did they call a travel and then a foul?
Did they? Huh.
Okay.
That will be Holyfield's 4th one, so Coach Roger pulls him to the bench. Chen Xiangjun replacing the big. Another foul there.
I understand the frustration, but I think Zhou is playing way too physical defense out there, and assuming the refs are just going to let him go.
So they call it blocking foul on Zhou Guiyu, and then the second whistle, though, I'm not quite sure. So Lin Zijie will return.
I think it's just a warning for Graham getting his left hand on Zhou Guiyu's back after the fact.
Yes. First one is good. Graham now got 6 points. Pilots 8 for 17 at the line tonight.
Well, if the Pilots are eyeing a comeback, Josh and Holyfield with 4 fouls apiece, at least taking away some of those chess pieces on Roger's board.
Definitely. 44 seconds, and he sends Beast in. Curl in for the dribble drive handoff to Chen Xiangjun, but he gets called the 3-second violation.
Good defense by the Pilots, despite getting beat on the dribble, but Graham and Jonah Morrison figure out the stop.
Brown will get a breather. Amity Dien comes back.
So as bad as the Pilots look in parts of this 3rd quarter, they've been gritting their teeth, and it's only a 2-possession game with a 2-for-1 opportunity coming up.
So both foreign students check back to the game.
A bench warning from the crew chief.
As we see Winston and Jeff have yet to make an appearance in the 3rd. Morrison returns to the game, as well as Owen. Pocket pass to Trevion Graham leads to more free throws. Well, better than nothing.
But that's some second side offense with Owen kind of cutting across the defense, drawing the help defenders in, and then Trevion Graham leaking backdoor, and yeah, it's a push in the back by KJ. It might be light, but you see frustration by Mo because he thought he could have swatted a block shot for himself.
It's never easy watching missed free throws. Now Roger's concern is foul troubles for his players. That's 3 players that have 4 fouls. Graham 0 for 2, just when they could get it down to a single field goal deficit. Well, it's still 58-54. Free throws for Braves now.
Yeah, the Pilots have not been their best defensively in this game. A lot of kind of missed assignments, a lot of long closeouts, and you see Jackie handing the cookie jar.
Roger and Caminos playing chess right now, subbing in and out players frequently, as we have Pilots also checking in. Chen Li-sen, this is his first appearance in the finals. Jason's twin.
Jason's younger brother, Chen Li-sen.
I don't know, it's giving twins. KJ missing at first. The second so vital. Here we go. Coming through. nothing for Chen. The effort was there, but the Pilots, they fall behind once again. A strong start for the Pilots early in the third, but unfortunately they couldn't hang on. The Braves still hold on to a lead, 59-54. So stay tuned to the final quarter of the finals.
做出一样的动作，来跟你身旁的一位伙伴一起跟着 Spencer 还有 Mo 来肩靠肩背靠背，团结的一起为勇士加油，非常好。来2位，很好，正面也可以，背对背，正面也没问题。很好，谢谢。好，很好，很好，没错。露出灿烂的笑容，一起为勇士加油。Nice, that's right. 好，亲子档也可以哦，非常好。一起应援物，一起跟着你的伙伴来为勇士加油。来，富邦 Angels 来一个帅气的。很好，很好，跟着维新奶昔大头。来2位。肩靠肩，背靠背，很好。瑜伽拍档，来换你们喽！3位一起，没有问题。来换你们。好，最重要的笑容要有，很好。来，很好，很好，自信的笑容，自己也可以。2位，来看一下大荧幕，肩靠肩，背靠背，很好。
You're watching the 2026 Plus League Finals. Game 6 is here at Heping Gymnasium. Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen presenting to you the finals series.
William Martino voted as 6th Man of the Year in the Plus League, and for good reason. However, in these finals, the offensive rating of the Pilots when he's out there only 76% and net -10 in the advanced metrics. And again, it's not easy having to body up with Michael Holyfield all game, but in this game, Martino's scoring from his floater range is also not there either. But he's among many Pilots who are struggling to find some rhythm.
Yankovic will be coming off the bench in the 4th quarter. Kaijip, target not acquired.
Finally, a run-out opportunity for the Pilots.
There you have it. Alec Brown cashes in the 3.
And fast breaks in transition don't always have to result in layups. As long as you have the opponents backpedaling real hard, you can find opportunities.
Behind the back pass from Beats, and here comes Big Mo. Holyfield picking it up.
Man, just when you thought he was dead to rights there.
Lighting out off the glass, too strong, and Big Mo pulling up.
2 tap outs by Holyfield.
Pilots not getting those rebounds, and there's a Hail Mary. This is the connection, comes up empty. A pass over to Will Artino off the glass, around and in it goes.
Just like that, tie game.
And again, this is with Lu Jinxiang struggling all game long. Again, we've seen a couple of moments, but they're quickly dashed.
But Justin trying to play that tonight and top blocking defense, end up giving up the back door right down the middle. But previously you see Alec Brown take his time, and that's what he can afford to do with William Martino going right to the basket. And here in the half-court pick and roll, definitely imagine that the Pilots keep saying, why don't they engage in a little bit more pick and roll just to force that big to play defense, especially with the Braves now in foul trouble.
The 3, not good for Taoyuan. Now, we talked about it briefly towards the end of the third, but you have 3 Braves players in foul trouble. But Roger taking the risk and starting Michael Holyfield in the 4th. He's got 4. KJ with 4. And Ling Zijie will get the Braves' first team foul.
Just to be too late.
Going around the screen, too slow. Lee Jiakang gets the long range 2.
That's impressive. Left-handed dribble and to a pull-up over the right shoulder.
Pilots, they've had strong beginnings, but it's about how you end the quarters. Going around the world, here's Taoyuan. Too deep. Loose ball back over Pilots. Downhill pass. It hits the ring though, and it's Mo and Brown fighting for the jump ball.
And again, Pilots unlucky with those alley-oops, but then somehow Alec Brown twisting around, finding the basketball. I thought the Braves were for sure going down the other way. You see the ball hitting the rim, a little too accurate. And then man, Venus fly trap.
I was gonna say the hippo game, where like the one where you like, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm like gesturing. Hungry hippo. Thank you. But it also helps to have an extremely long wingspan. So I believe this was our first jump ball today.
You might be right.
In the first half, the Pilots held on to a lead for 8 minutes. Let's see how long they can hold on to this lead in the 4th.
Pilots have been very patient with their offense and good amount of ball and man movement.
Braves ball.
Not a bad look by Justin. Also had Artino onto a weak side roll. And then Artino got 2 hands on the offensive rebound. Is a good effort.
I would say it's up for Justin to just keep trying. Dogoyer and Jeff Wu return to gameplay. We'll catch Beast later on in the quarter. Again, he's averaging 20 minutes per game in the finals. Out of bounds, Braves still.
Good job by Artino to get his hands up, deny a clean look for Holyfield close to the basket.
Yeah, he's still fighting tough.
Pilots are changing their defensive coverage. Alec Brown playing more aggressively on the perimeter.
Just too high of a pass.
Perfect timing by Brown to come down, get a hand on it.
Will Artino gets called travel.
Now Artino a little bit rushed. And you really can't really blame the official for not calling it on the other side. Look at this move. To get going before establishing. And in such close proximity, the defense is at your mercy.
Dogoyer. There's the hedge from Artino, switching backwards, and the Hail Mary is too short, but he gets it. Picks it back up where he left. Yankovic through Justin, and Alec Brown does not make the connection.
And again, it's Justin with a missed assignment, kind of gambling there. His teammates picked him up, and the Braves turned it over, trying to get to some big-to-big passing going. Good to see assistant coach Wei Hao in the building, dealing with personal health issues, and good that he could feel good enough to come to the arena for a possible another title clincher for the Braves.
Oh, we hope for a speedy and smooth recovery for him, as once again we're seeing ourselves a run from the Pauian Pilots, a 7-0 run at that. But how long can they hold it is the question.
Well, not a bad look again by Jackie on the runner.
points yet for Jankovic. No time left. Doesn't serve the three. 5 seconds remain, and here comes Sobrayer from the corner. Yes! Hits the target. That's his first field goal tonight. (62-61). Braves finally get the first bucket in the final quarter, and charging downhill was Xiaobai, but they couldn't execute. Holyfield up against Alec Kraft, gets the and one. That's gotta hurt the Pilots.
Again, not a bad look. They just couldn't convert, and then the Braves, maybe with this home crowd, get on the run. I want to see that foul again, because it definitely didn't look to me like the defense was encroaching on the offensive player's space, but Braves up by 3 with a free throw coming up.
There you have it, the score, 64-61. We'll be back with gameplay of Game 6 of the Plus League Finals. We're live here at Heping Gymnasium for Game 6 of the Plus League Finals.
Chairman and exec of the Fubon Group, Tai Mingzong and Tai Mingxing, have arrived at their places as the Braves looking to clinch their second title at home if they can pull off the victory. Well, good momentum to counter the Pilots. First, patient play once Jankovic is in, swing the ball to Josh in the corner, and then the hustle by Michael Holyfield. Feed the big man, and good things happen.
Coming out of timeout. We'll send Holyfield at the line. And that's 3 points for the big. That's 9 points and 13 rebounds for Michael Holyfield these last 2 games. Well, as I mentioned before, 0 points on Sunday, 2 in their last home game. Jia Kang fights through for the bank shot.
Yeah, Jia Kang been taking good shots, smart choices, and finally one right up around the cup.
Just like that, he gets served another foul.
A little bit unlucky there. Josh was about to make a move. There you see Artino, a good enough screen, and then Holyfield somehow late to the party, even though he had Artino picking and popping. There you see a good jab fake by Josh, sent the defense the wrong way.
His first foul in this game. Yowei off the screen, downhill pass to Holyfield. Good save by Josh. The Hail Mary, just off mark. Right idea, could not execute. They get another chance, and from up top, Jankovic gets voicemail.
Again, Michael Holyfield having a tremendous impact in the game. 6 offensive rebounds.
And swish, swish goes the 3 for Alec Brown. 25 points for the import player of the year. seconds remain. Yankovic having trouble out in the perimeter and having trouble scoring in the fourth. Trying to beat the clock. He does hit the rim, but Andy picks up another rebound.
Andy's got to stand tall in the middle, grab those boards.
Hand off to Ja Kong. He's got 8 seconds to make the next move. Pilots with a 1-point lead over. He hits the side of the backboard.
Yeah, the Braves were goading Pauian to start the offense on the left wing, and nobody really stepped up to help him out. So taking a ill-advised or unfortunately low percentage floater there as Beast will return. Let's see if he's freshened up. Give the Braves another scoring punch.
最后一次球给志杰 Give the last ball to Beast. A lot of creative signs here at Heping Gymnasium tonight. Again, his final game here at Heping Gymnasium. Hook pass way out to Beast. Gets called to travel.
Kind of in a rush with Alec Brown engaging in the closeout. Certainly would be intimidating for a three-point shooting Beast who's not gotten to the rim as much in his later days because he's such a good threat from the outside.
Junxiang checking back
我觉
in.
得就是在从Game 1开始的时候就蛮珍惜的啦。对，虽然有时候防守他的时候太多时间不是在于我，对，但每次我守到他的时候，我都是用全心全力的去面对到他，因为知道他就是一个我们很好的榜样，对。然后他在Game 1的时候，也在我低潮的时候给我很多鼓励，对。那我觉得他们这些就是经验累积下来给我的一些传承跟一些鼓励，我觉得是还蛮欣慰的。对。
So that was Lu Junxiang giving a Beast his flowers and appreciating the career that he has had and appreciative of all the wisdom and advice that he has given him as, well, Beast imparting more points for the Taipei Fubon Braves. That's 8 points for him tonight.
Just when you think he was out of options, the big fadeaway.
Do Guiyu will get his 5th foul.
But with 3.5 minutes to go, I think Roger could consider risking it. As you see Beast thankfully not lose the basketball, otherwise travel was afoot, and then the pillow soft landing of the basketball. So they will take him out. Guiyu, that is.
So we have Do Guiyu also.
这一季从一开始到现在，大家全队从上到下的一个目标就是想要为杰哥画下一个退休最完美的句点。那在第4场胜利还没拿到之前，我们都还没结束这个任务，所以我们就是要更谨慎，然后更 focus 在我们的目标上面。那对于有什么话对他讲的话，就是真的封网，然后晚上会有很多时间可以跟他讲，这样对。
Junxiang keeping the bank open, forces the Braves to call a timeout. That was Do Guiyu thanking Beast, and also the Braves wanting to end this season on a high note, and that high note is to take this season's title, and the job is not done yet until they do so. And they have 3 minutes and 27 seconds left to do so.
And Josh has the only three-point made for the Braves in this 4th quarter. Things are really cooled down for the Braves since that initial flurry, and time is seeming to be running out a lot faster than we expected. Neither team going to the line all that much. And I think that might benefit the Pilots to have a little bit more free-flowing game, try to space the floor out, and because every free throw means that they'll have to go against the Braves' half-court defense, which has been a standout in the first half, Game 5, and through a lot of stretches here in Game 6.
So the Pilots still outscoring the Braves in the fourth quarter, 14-8. And again, we're getting a proper view of Brandon Gilpeck. He is now a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, and as I mentioned earlier, a champion this season with the Formosa Dreamers. Has been with the Dreamers for 4 seasons now. So pretty much the majority of his pro ball career. Braves ball after the timeout. Staggered screen there, run. A double drag screen run there for the Braves. 12 seconds remain on the clock. 6 seconds, last touch goes to Lin Zijie.
Foul on the dribble. You were right, the Braves were running a staggered screen, then an elevator screen. Really testing our basketball eyeballs as you see Beast and Jackie trying to tango and the hook from the behind. Jia Kang has been dribbled past a couple times in this game, but not for a lack of effort. Might be just too aggressive.
That was the Pilots' last foul to give before their free throws for the Braves. Ball kicked out. Pilots.
The Braves have been pretty lucky with some of these loose ball, like passes not getting all the way to the target. You can't count on that all the way, as maybe the Braves want to get another look at this out of bounds play. You know, the funny thing about the absence of Archie Goodwin is this is the first time KJ and Beast are starting together this season. And you have to go all the way back to season 4 in May 5th as the season was winding down. Braves played the Dreamers here. Oh, so close to the floor. It's kind of hard to see the last touch.
陈佑伟的左手右手 ，OK， 好，再来。陈佑伟的右手 ，OK，
First head coach challenge by Roger as Caminos had an early challenge. Early in the game, first quarter was unsuccessful, and this one was also unsuccessful too.
One kind of tricky thing for Roger is Beast has been dribbled past a few times in this game. That might be a point that the Pilots continue to attack. And Beast is certainly strong enough to hold up in the post-up, but when it comes to sliding those puppies, might be a consideration to give him some more rest, offense, defense, and he's not starting on the bench right now.
Junxiang high up. No dice there.
The Braves are doing a great job getting the Pilots to pick up the dribble, but maintain connection right down the middle and cut off those passing lanes.
Yankovic set up out the perimeter, but Taijie play aggressive with a dribble drive downhill. As they call Pilots ball.
I don't know what happened there. It seemed like the Pilots were all over him, and whether a block shot or deflected pass. And, hey, Winston's got a good idea. The hook pass. That went to the specialties.
Maybe they're gonna put him back in also. 3 players still managing to keep it 4 fouls. That is Josh, Zhouguiyu, Kaijie, as well as Holyfield from the parking lot. Dishes. The 3 is served for Li Jiakang.
And a deep shot, and he shot in the arm for the Pilots. Maybe they'll have some energy the rest of the 2 minutes.
Jiakang with 10 points.
Unlucky there. Just coming into Yankovic as the Braves kind of fake that handoff. But meanwhile, you see the Braves kind of employing the same strategy as the Pilots to help from the nail, but they're leaving Li Jiakang open. And despite a low three-point shooting series, Li Jiakang has improved that three-point shot tremendously over the past 3 seasons. Well, here's the Braves' advantage. They've been better at the line. I wouldn't quite say it's extraordinary at the line.
You know, it's pretty darn good. 75% satisfactory, I will take it. C's for degrees, am I right?
And well, degrees are worth something.
Yeah. Pilots still in the lead, 71-69. Jun Xiang and Alec Brown, the only two Pilots players who've scored over 10 points. Yo Wei, just off mark. Who's gonna get it? It's gonna be Xiaobai. 1 minute, 14 seconds left in regulation.
If I were the Pilots, I would just use Justin as a decoy. He needs some rest, and he needs to let the game come to him.
Right now, the Braves have plenty of fouls to spare. Alec Brown's three does not fall. Count the Braves lucky. Braves are only with 2 team fouls, so they could really take advantage, as we've been talking about it all game long. Their Pilots' free throws have been, quite frankly, abysmal.
Maybe they'll catch a break, though, as the referees are going to the monitor about this rebound. It was pretty clear William Martino was one of the players involved. You see Beast is skying up, Holyfield is kind of late to reach for it.
Okay.
I don't know, it still looked like Artino was... It's the way his wrist flicks that still hasn't been touching the ball.
Well, a little break for both teams to regather themselves and let their heart rate go down, as very quickly we only got a minute left in the ball game.
Oh, goodness. A nail-biter ending. Could we see a second OT in the series? We had our first one ever in Game 1 of the finals, where the Braves, they get their first win at Taoyuan Arena this season. And again, I talked about Pilots being undefeated at home. Well, the Braves, they managed to get 2 wins at that stadium in the finals.
And talk about a grind. If the game ends with this score, this would be the lowest scoring finals game in Plus League history.
I believe that. Yankovic with a downhill off the bank. Nothing.
Pilots can't fall asleep now. They got to get the ball across the timeline.
Jun Xiang coming through coast to coast.
2-for-1 territory in the favor of the Pilots.
Once again, Braves, they only have 2 team fouls. They can spare, they have a lot to spare. That was too strong for Alec Brown. Loose ball, Artino. Looks like quick change of call for the referee.
Man, just when you think the Braves get the stop they need, William Martino's quick hands. During the regular season, he averaged just about 3/4 of a steal, and with Yankovic kind of preoccupied with trying to find an outlet, not only do they cough it up, they foul too, though. Who do they foul?
That's a great question. 18.6 seconds.
So I'm not really sure why this would be a baseline out of bounds.
Oh, it was a rebound.
The Braves only 3 team fouls, sorry. I presume
I said
a
it
little too
multiple
much.
times.
You're right, you're right.
It's a huge advantage for the Braves.
Because the Pilots can't claim that Artino was going for the basket there. Interesting conversation that the referees are going to have. Maybe they're going to consider a shot clock situation, which would very much change the geometry for the Braves. Wow, they're turning off the shot clock.
You see the Braves fans praying, and you already see the rolls of streamers. They're getting ready as they call for a short timeout.
Good awareness by the Pilots point guard, Ethan. They did not seem to have that much urgency to get open.
A crucial timeout on both ends.
Well, on the game, the Pilots only have Justin, who is a 2 for 2. Everybody else, either not a big sample size or multiple misses. And during the series, the Pilots' best free throw shooter is still Justin at 86%. And the Braves, they know that. Basically, any foul is necessary. And I think the Pilots also need to be aware the Braves could end up getting a trap because 18 seconds is plenty of time to get a 5-second violation and possession back.
Oh, she's in her prayer mode right now. The fans are chanting defense. Pilots possession 18.6. That's all we got in regulation. Hanging on to a 2-point lead for dear life.
Notice they only had Taoyuan on ground.
Lobbing outwards. Barely getting the pass, and Jia Kang draws a foul for the and one, but no, that does not count. Can't ask for any more challenges.
Well, we have the benefit of instant replay because it is very close. See, Jia Kang still needs to engage in a dribble, and he picks it up. I think the Pilots have this argument. Now look, it is very close to back up the officials here. It is right on a knife edge, whether he picks up the ball or not. Well, for the Pilots, you take some time off the clock, and you have another inbound.
Another one. So there you have it, the Braves are without any more. It's automatic on both ends. Holyfield getting his 5th foul.
Well, the second best free throw by percentage for the Pilots. I didn't mention him because he wasn't out there. If I'm looking at this right, it's Andy at 76%. Actually hit 4 for 4 in a game 4 right here in this building.
There you have the free throws on both ends. The Pilots, 9 for 20. Braves, far more consistent, satisfactory. 12 for 16, 75% at the line. Andy unable to round it up to 10. Seriously inexcusable. This game alone, they're only 42% at the line. Well, they managed to get 1 point.
Might be a little bit too much time on the clock to consider right away fouling for the Pilots. You do want to see more time burn off the clock when you get the basketball back and try to hit a couple more free throws. Let's hear what Roger will plan it up. It sounds like the Braves are going to go to a classic screen the screener. First Beast will try to get somebody free, and then he will ultimately be option 1 on this play. And again, for the Pilots, at some point you got to consider fouling, putting them at the line. Though you don't want to do it to get an unsportsmanlike or foul a 3-point shooter, as it looks like the Pilots saw personnel and no, it's the Braves who want to rethink it. Look, if you have the timeouts and you see the Pilots personnel, and I think the first indicator is looking at who's covering the basketball, because that might change things up. Do they put Alex Brown, or they're going to put a small guard? Did nobody go to the ball at all? And they're trying to guard 4 with 5?
Go here. I will use go corner. Then you screen for this.
So again, the Braves fans are waiting with bated breath here at Heping Gymnasium. Can they clinch it here at home, or will we have to see a Game 7 once again at Taoyuan Arena? You see the kid is already thought a little too far ahead. Braves have it tough right now. They've gone almost 4 minutes without scoring. Yankovic was at the free throw line. Luckily, he made both of his free throws.
It's nearly 3 years to the date that the Braves on June 14th got a home clincher.
.9 seconds with Braves ball.
Good news for the Pilots, nobody with 5 personal fouls, so anybody could be an option. They will accept if the Braves make 2, but it's a risky proposition with their free throw percentage.
Boy has been scoreless in this 4th quarter. He finds Beast, trips up, loses it, and here comes Lee Jiakong, and he puts it not away, but he'll be sent to the line.
And unlike the Fox play in the Spurs-Knicks conclusion, I believe, of Game 4, the Pilots were already up by 3 points, so a lay-in, or at least a free throw made, would make it a 2-possession game. There we see, maybe Beast is right. There is a little bit of hands on the back, as that left-hand strip, though, that was clean. And credit to Taoyuan for racing all the way down, preventing an easy 2, which would have certainly put the game away.
Nothing you can do about that. Jiakong tonight, 10 rebounds, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Wow. Not a great timing to change into the baseline camera.
Lee Jiakong with that back discomfort. Might need to change things up.
True. Very valid, misses a second. Short timeout. Good call there. The Braves players, 7.4 seconds. Well, could pull off a miracle.
Well, the only thing right now that the Braves are losing is time and timeouts, as they last drew up a play with 13 seconds left. But as the Pilots saw, it was Beast going away from the basket, so that's going to make it a lot harder to turn around and shoot the 3. I think the Braves need to reconsider. In the final-ish play of the Braves arc game at Taipei Arena, they had Beast slicing across the inbounder from the sideline toward the corner. And Rogers' reason is, hey, if we turn it over, they have a lot further to go. But that might be something they consider, because again, if Beast catches the ball going away, the Pilots can easily foul and send him to the line. 2 free throws, the Braves will still be down in the game.
Roger, I think he took a quick glance at the Pilots players on deck. Maybe he switched up last second there.
Case for the Pilots to be unhappy, but at the same time, they're sitting pretty.
7.4 seconds, Braves ball.
There's 3 more seconds off the clock with Mo not even looking at the basket, so things are not going right for the Braves ATOs.
He's been looking onward. He did what he could in the first half for the Braves. Yankovic serves it, off mark, out of bounds. And there you have it. The Pauian Pilots live to see another day in the finals. They did indeed fight tooth and nail, particularly in the end, to hold on to just a 3-point lead. This is, as you mentioned, Ryan, the lowest scoring finals game we have yet to witness.
I Didn't imagine that we would stay close to that very score, but only one more point was added. The Braves were actually the team we probably should have been more worried about with fatigue. They end up going 10 for 35 from the field in the second half and turned it over 13 times. So a defensive battle, and I think we'll continue seeing that way unless Archie Goodwin could really, on an extra couple days of rest, bring the heat in Game 7. That means 3 straight seasons in Plus League history. The season will end in a Taoyuan arena after the Kings clinched in 5 2 seasons ago, and the Pilots able to prevail in the winner-take-all Game 7 last year.
Look, credit on both sides. Pilots, they're short on Guan Dayo. Li Jiakang wasn't playing 100% with the back issues, but really, the Taipei Fubon Braves, they've really relied on Archie Goodwin. He is a 24-point shooter per game in the finals, so without him, they managed to have the lead for quite some time during Game 6 as Yang Zhenlei Aaron interviews Li Jiakang.
嘉刚先来谈一下自己现在目前身体的状况。因为上一场有受伤，然后这场就是有看医生，然后有打针，所以这场是带伤上阵。那我觉得最后2颗罚球也不能当做借口，那所以我回去再好好调整的。你把我想问的问题问掉了。今天球队的罚球都不是很理想，但是在关键的时刻，你们防守发挥了很好的作用，把分数对方压到70分以下。今天防守做得好的地方在哪里？我觉得教练给我们的指示都很明确，然后我们今天都有做到教练的指令，然后其实因为今天没有退路，所以我们就是全力以赴，然后把它拼回主场这样子。进攻端你也投进了一个非常重要的大号3分球，然后另外就是博朗今天的3分也有发挥。你们在进攻上面面对这种 win or go home 的这种情况，怎么样去武装自己？其实打到第6场的时候，其实大家都知道我们3分球的命中率其实都不太好，但是我们都很相信彼此，就是因为我们都有在自主训练嘛，那我们都很相信彼此都可以投进去。那当然空档出来，我们都是还是跟大家讲说，还是要勇敢出手这样子。跟去年一模一样的剧本，要打到第7战了，准备要跟乘客们见面了。面对镜头跟他们说几句。乘客们，我们要回主场了，大家赶快进场为我们加油。好，谢谢，请签名，谢谢。
一样在我们熟悉的梅兰球馆，而在时间是在6月19号，希望大家可以再次的。好，谢谢。来，公安就来到场中。再次提醒我们现场朋友，在今天比赛以及活动已经正式的落幕，谢谢大家今晚的莅临，也请大家在离开的同时要收拾好自己手边的个人物品，以及用餐垃圾帮我们丢到场边的垃圾桶。也要跟大家相约2天，6月18是在总冠军赛的最后一场，邀请各位可以一起前
we're wrapping up here at Heping Gymnasium. Game 6 has just concluded, and the Taoyuan Pilots forces it into Game 7 back home. Li Jiankang said, well, they won and they get to go home. He mentioned that he took PRP shots. Those last 2 free throws were no excuse, but you move on. And tonight, well, they followed everything that Caminos had asked them to do and mentioned to the fans, go out and support on their last game.
The Pilots indeed step it up on defense. Unlike what the English broadcasters are asking for more offense, the Pilots know that the Braves are short their top scorers, so they do a great job jumping the passing lanes. Braves end up coughing the ball over for 22 turnovers. Really can ill afford that in a game where you don't have your top guy. And the Pilots and the Braves more or less maintain their three-point shooting percentage first half to second half. I think the Braves, thanks to great offensive rebounding, no quit on that end. They're led by Michael Holyfield, who had 6 offensive rebounds, able to keep the game close, but by the end, only a 10-point fourth quarter sets their low in this series.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as Jia Kang mentioned in the interview, they've really held down on defense, and they've certainly done so with Yankovic as well. He's really the outside shooter that they really need. As we take a look at the graphics, well, it is Groundhog indeed, as we have another 7-game series in the finals. Ryan, tell us about last year's finals.
Man, it was the very first time the Taipei Fubon Braves actually have faced elimination game in a Plus League, a playoff play. And it was a back and forth battle. You actually got a feeling that the Braves had it in the bag, and then Justin ended up stepping up to be the hero in the end. And we won't have very long to wait, as Thursday night is it, the final game of the season in Taoyuan Arena, just where we got things started off. Another 7 p.m. tip. Let's see if that bodes well for the Night King and company, or the Braves could get their storybook ending for Beast, the greatest of all Taiwan basketball.
Well, he had a heck of a showing or a performance tonight in his last game here at his own home at Heping Gymnasium. Don't forget, folks, the draft is coming up after the finals, June 30th, 7 o'clock. Make sure to tune in on YouTube. Subscribe to the Plus League channel there and follow up with the latest updates on the Plus League Instagram page. So again, quick turnaround for all of us here at Plus League, Braves and Pilots, as we have to hone in once again for the last game at Taoyuan Arena, as our Mandarin broadcasters are wrapping it up. Jason, Yang Zhenlei, Aaron, as well as Coach Sean, doing a fantastic job on the Mandarin broadcast side. Ryan, got a lot to look forward to on Thursday night.
Sure, and we might have to stick around and watch the post-game of Bushiban to get a leg up on our preparation for Thursday. Winner take all in back-to-back seasons.
So we thank you so much for tuning in to another Plus League Finals broadcast. It's Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen signing off. We'll catch you on Game 7. So we'll see you then. Take care, folks.
Thank